Welcome to our podcast, folks. Today, we're diving into a narrative that's all about the evolution of a kiss, from the pure, unfiltered gestures of childhood to the layered, emotional exchanges of adulthood.
I'm excited to explore this journey with you. The way the narrative starts with a dedication to someone named Marie really sets the tone for something deeply inspiring, right?
Absolutely. The dedication is like a heartfelt salute. Marie is portrayed not just as an inspirer, but as a beacon who gave the writer the courage to believe that anything is possible.
Yep.
That sort of commitment and warmth immediately draws you in.
And from there, the text meanders through various stages of life, each chapter marked by a different perception of what a kiss means. It's fascinating how the author uses infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood to illustrate these changes.
Exactly. It starts at age 5, where a kiss is, a playful gesture, almost like an innocent apology after knocking over building blocks, or a mimic of what's seen on TV. It's as if, it's purely a mimicry of adult behavior, but stripped of any romantic connotation.
Right. It's like those early childhood moments where exploration and imitation are the highest forms of learning. I mean, who knew a peck on the cheek could signify so much simplicity?
Yes, and then by age 10, the narrative takes an interesting turn. A kiss begins to signify new awareness, something a bit more complex. It's no longer just about a quick gesture. There's this, tug of war between discomfort and curiosity.
I find that very relatable. The description where, say, the boy wipes off a kiss on the cheek, yet can't help but smile afterward, shows that even in childhood, feelings are already stirring.
Right. And the characters, the one lovingly dubbed the Wiz and his counterpart Sis, add such a personal layer. They become these symbolic figures, representing that delightful and at times confusing journey through early emotions. It's like they embody a slice of
Yeah.
growing up.
Exactly. The narrative doesn't shy away from that awkwardness, the blushes, the missed kisses, and the almost unspoken questions. You really get the sense of hesitancy and the raw, unpolished nature of first experiences.
And the imagery used really amplifies that. There are several vivid descriptions and even images where these moments are captured. They rely on visual snapshots, like that moment of innocence on a sunny afternoon when the boy and girl look at each other differently. It's like a series of living photographs.
Yep. Speaking of images, I love how the visual cues tie into the narrative progression. But here's a thought. Do you think these snapshots sometimes simplify the complexity of emotions, or do they adeptly capture the nuance?
That's an interesting point. I would argue they do capture nuance, even if in a somewhat stylized way. I mean, it's like the images. Each one is a metaphor. At age 10, for instance, the kisses are not only physical, but hint at tender emotional transitions.
I see your point. Fair enough. And then as time advances towards age 15, the interaction between Wiz and Sis becomes laden with heavier symbolism. Their kisses start to carry weight, hesitation, and even all sorts of unspoken questions.
Right. It's like the narrative shifts from the lighthearted child mimicry to a phase where a kiss is almost a negotiation. A careful dance where they're both trying not to blur the lines of a friendship that's been built over years.
Exactly, and that moment of tension is palpable. There's that instance where Wiz is shown as conflicted, almost fearful of the deeper implications behind what a kiss could mean.
And it's not just about the physical act. It's a symbolic gesture loaded with emotional history. You know, it reminds me of a kind of ritual in which you're not just sharing affection, but you're also like opening up a conversation of long-standing memories. A conversation that's unspoken, yet so loud in its implications.
Now here's where it gets particularly interesting. The metamorphosis at age 25. The kiss evolves into something that transcends being just a simple act. It becomes a moment of truth, a turning point that indicates if they are going to redefine their relationship.
Totally. At age 25, when Wiz and Sis finally reconnect, the kiss is not just playful or a simple apology. It's loaded with years of missed opportunities, memories, and, the pain of separation.
Exactly.
Like an emotional pressure cooker being finally released.
And I found it really well crafted how, after years of indirectly trying to speak, their reunion reaches a crescendo where both of them dare to ask for a kiss. It's a delicate moment that carries the past while also questioning their future.
Yes, the dialogue, even if implied more than stated, encapsulates that delicate balance of hope and hurt. It's like, for so many years, they've tried to preserve the sanctity of their bond, only to realize that a kiss can become the language they both need.
Yeah.
It hits right at the core.
I particularly enjoyed the part where emotional electric tension is captured. The butterflies in the tummy moment, followed by the resigned acknowledgement of what love really demands at that stage.
And, the narrative details the minutiae of their interactions, the hesitant approach, the soft moments like a coffee shared at dawn. Those details, evoke a strong sensory memory within the reader. It's like every kiss, every pause, has its own story. Absolutely.
Yep. I do wonder, though, do you think the narrative risks over sentimentalizing things a bit? It seems, almost too perfect in its recollection of every tender moment.
That's a fair critique. There is a touch of idealization, like every moment is painted with too smooth a brush. However, I think that might be intentional. The narrative seems designed to exaggerate the bittersweet nature of memory, to make the past feel both luminous and painfully remembered.
I get that.
But isn't it sometimes a bit too romanticized?
Precisely. And there's the respectful challenge. While the imagery is beautiful, it could also be argued that it glosses over the messiness of real emotions. Sometimes love is messy, and a kiss can be, well, awkward in its rawness too.
You're right, and that contrast is what makes it fascinating. It's as if the narrative wants us to see the evolution from simplicity to complexity, from a kiss that's just about affection to one that's a bridge between the past and present.
Yes,
Even if that
exactly.
transition might seem, a little polished.
And then we get those moments of playful defiance. The female character insisting, I will not kiss you, I promise you this. I will not kiss you. Which then gets flipped around with humor and longing when the tension breaks during a more mature reunion.
Right. That little twist where Wiz, despite his intellect, asks something utterly unexpected like, what in the world is a toodlepip? It brings an element of humor and lightness that helps to break the buildup of emotion.
Indeed.
That moment definitely lightens the mood in a tender way.
It's like, blending the gravity of years of unspoken words with a dash of irreverence. And that is where the narrative truly shines, balancing the heavy and the light in one breath.
And it's all layered over this backdrop of evolving self-awareness. As each age progresses, we see not only the growth of the characters, but also the changing meaning of a kiss. It starts off as easy and innocent. Then, it grows into something laden with emotional complexity, and finally, becomes a definitive turning point in a long and winding relationship. That layered progression really carries the weight of a lifetime.
Also, let's not forget the copyright and publishing details that frame the work, lending it an air of officiality. It reminds us that this is a carefully constructed piece, a work of fiction, yet one that resonates with real human emotions.
Absolutely. The formal pages, the copyright, the cover design credits by Steve Callis, and so on, anchor the narrative in a creative universe where every detail matters. It gives it this literary quality that makes it seem very thoughtful, even though it's a work of fiction.
I also love how those formal details contrast with the raw, unfiltered emotions of Wiz and Sis. It's almost as if the professional veneer is peeled away by the vulnerability of their interactions.
Totally. It's like having two sides of the same coin. One side rigid with formality, and the other soft and ever-changing with emotions. And that contrast makes the narrative engaging and, relatable on so many levels.
So, in summary, we've got a narrative that starts with inspiration, evolves through childhood innocence, grows in its complexity during adolescence, and culminates in an adult relationship that's as tentative as it is passionate.
Exactly. And it explores the notion that a kiss is not just a kiss. It's a microcosm of evolving relationships, personal growth, and the passage of
Yep.
time. Every kiss carries layers of meaning built through shared memories.
You know, it makes me think, do we ever really escape our childhood impressions? It seems like every affectionate gesture, no matter how mature, carries an echo of those early moments.
It's like the foundation never truly goes away. Those early innocent gestures pave the way for deeper expressions later on. Sure, the context changes, but the impulse remains the same. Very true indeed.
Mm-hmm. And that continuing thread is, I think, what gives the narrative its timeless quality. It reminds us that while our expressions evolve, the underlying need for connection remains constant.
I love that observation. It's a reminder that every affectionate act, from that peck on the cheek in childhood to the passionate, longing kiss in adulthood, is a chapter in our lifelong story of
Indeed.
connection. It's the story of us all.
In wrapping up, it's clear this narrative captivates by showing the transformative power of something as simple as a kiss. It's rich with symbolism, artistic imagery, and a deep emotional excavation.
Absolutely. And despite any critiques regarding its idealization, it remains a wonderfully crafted piece that celebrates the journey of love, memory, and personal growth,
Yep, truly inspiring.
even if it sometimes feels a bit too polished.
And that, in a nutshell, is the magic of this story. It's both a nostalgic look back and a resonant commentary on the ebb and flow of life and relationships.
Right. It leaves us with the thought: every kiss, at every stage of life, has meaning. A reflection of who we are and who we aspire to become. A timeless reminder of growth and human connection.
And as we reflect on this, let's remember that inspiration, much like Marie's influence in the dedication, is all around us, guiding us through life's bittersweet moments.
So, here's to the enduring art of a kiss, a gesture that, regardless of age, continues to capture the essence of our hopes, our joys, and our sometimes painful transitions. Cheers to that.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining this conversation. It's been a journey through memory, emotion, and the magic found in the simplest of gestures.
And thanks to all of you for listening. Until next time, keep cherishing the moments, however small they might seem.